When most Americans imagine Australia, they see two things: beaches and kangaroos. Maybe a koala on a eucalyptus tree. Maybe the Sydney Opera House. That's a brochure version. But I didn't get a brochure. I got married to an Australian woman, let's call her Sarah, and she swore up and down that moving back to her hometown was the best thing for our marriage. I pictured Brisbane, maybe Melbourne, a city where coffee shops bloom on every corner. Instead, we packed up everything and flew halfway around the world, only to land in Alice Springs. Now, if you don't know Alice Springs, here's the thing. It's smack in the dead heart of Australia. Middle of nowhere. It's not even near the ocean, so goodbye surfing dreams. It's scorching hot, dry and bone dust. And when the sun sets, it feels like you are standing on the surface of Mars. But worse, it's a city struggling with crime, poverty and kind of rawness that chews up outsiders for breakfast. When I stepped off the plane, the air itself slapped me across the face. You don't breathe in Alice Springs, you drink the heat. Like molten air is pouring down your throat. I thought Texas summers were bad. Nope. This was worse. You leave a bottle of water outside for 10 minutes and it turns into tea. Sarah grew up here, so for her it was normal. She struggled it off, threw on a pair of thongs, no, not that kind, Aussies mean flip-flops, and walked like nothing was wrong. Meanwhile, I looked like a wilted lettuce leaf dragged out of the fridge. Let's get one thing straight. Alice Springs isn't a charming desert town. It's a city at war with itself. By day, it looks almost normal. Tourists wander around taking selfies near big red rocks. But by night, different story. That's when you hear the bottle smash. That's when the kids run wild on the streets, dodging police cars like it's a game. Back home in Chicago, I used to complain about sirens. But in Alice, the soundtrack is yelling, breaking glass, and the occasional fight noise down the street.
Mate, they're taking 20-metre jumps and jumping in the glass trying to smash it.
Our second night in Sarah's parents' old house, someone tried to break into the shed. The neighbor just leaned over the fence and shrugged. Happens all the time, mate. Like it was weather. That was my first clue. Safety is a luxury out there. And I didn't have it. Then came the snake. Now, I'd read about snakes before. Every American has heard the joke that everything in Australia wants to kill ya. But I thought it was an exaggeration. Until it wasn't. One boiling afternoon, I was outside fixing a water pump. Out there, if something breaks, you fix it yourself or you don't drink. I bent down, sweating through my shirt, and then I heard it. A hiss. At first, I thought it was steam. Then I looked down, and there it was, a king brown snake. Coiled, elegant, deadly. A serpent with venom strong enough to kill a man in an hour. It didn't lunge, didn't rattle. Just stared, head lifted, tongue flicking, like it was sizing me up. I froze. My body knew before my brain, one wrong move, and it was over. My pulse hammered so hard, I thought the snake could hear it. I backed away, inch by inch. Every step felt like playing Russian roulette. By some miracle, it slithered off into the grass, uninterested. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept seeing that head lifting, the tongue flicking. 1 inch closer, and this story would have ended at a dusty grave. But the snake wasn't the only predator. The Outback kills you in slower ways too. Food. Forget about fresh produce. Tomatoes are half rotten by the time they reach the shelf. Lettuce costs as much as a steak. You learn to live on meat pies, beer, and anything that doesn't expire in 2 days. Alcohol. Speaking of beer, buying alcohol is an Olympic sport. The restrictions are insane. They check your ID, log your purchase, and heaven forbid you try to buy more than a couple bottles. It felt like I was plotting a heist just to grab a six-pack. Work. Back home, I worked in marketing. In Alice, that meant nothing. Nobody cared about branding strategies. They cared about whether I could dig a trench under the sun that cooked you alive. Spoiler, I couldn't. On my first job site, I collapsed after 2 hours. The foreman just spat on the dirt and muttered, "Yank wouldn't last." And honestly, he wasn't wrong. But the worst part wasn't the crime, it wasn't the food, it wasn't even the snakes, it was the silence. Drive 10 minutes outside Alice Springs and you were gone, swallowed by desert. No cars, no houses, no sound, just red dust and sky. At first, I thought it was beautiful, but then the silence crawled into me. At night, standing under stars so sharp they felt like glass, I realized this land doesn't care if you live or die. The desert is ancient, patient, merciless, and it doesn't blink. There were nights I thought it will break me. Maybe it did. But here's the part I didn't see coming. Somewhere between the fear and the frustration, I started to understand why Sarah brought me here. The Outback doesn't let you fake it. You can't hide behind money or charm of job titles. You either survive or you don't. And slowly, painfully, I began to change too. I learned how to patch a leaking roof with scrap team, how to check my boots for scorpions before slipping them on, how to spot a snake before it spotted me. I toughened up. Do I regret moving here? Every morning. Do I secretly love it? Every night. Once the Outback decided to test me in a different way with its people. Now, if you've never been to an Outback pub, imagine Wild West Saloon, but swap the cowboys for weathered men in high-vis shirts, sunburned faces, and hands that look like they could crash rocks. These guys don't sip cocktails. They drink beer like it's water. They size you up the second you walk in. One Friday night, Sarah dragged me to the local bar to meet people. Bad idea. From the moment I walked in, I could feel eyes on me. Not friendly curiosity, more like,
who's that soft-looking young taking up space at our bar?
I tried to blend in, ordered a beer, kept quiet. But of course, I made a rookie mistake of opening my mouth. I said something stupid, harmless in my head, but out there, words are weapons. I joked about how American beer was stronger. The silence that followed was heavy enough to crush me. One of the locals leaned in and said, "Say that again, mate." His tone wasn't a request. I laughed nervously. Just a joke. But the thing is, jokes don't fly in Alice. Especially not from an outsider. The push came fast. Beer spilled. Chairs scraped back. And the chaos started. I'd like to tell you I fought back. That my years watching UFC suddenly kicked in. But no. I barely got swinging before I was shoved, punched, and dragged across the sticky floor like a rag doll. Fists, boots, laughter, it was a blur of pain and humiliation.
Stupid yank.
Soft as butter. Go home, mate. This ain't for you.
Every word cut deeper than the punches. Because they weren't just calling me weak, they were telling me I didn't belong here. Eventually, the bartender and a couple of older blokes pulled it apart. I was left slumped against the wall, bleeding from my lip, pride shattered into 1,000 pieces. Sarah was furious, but not at them, at me. You can't walk in here acting like you own the place. You are in their world now. And she was right. That night, I realized something brutal. The Outback doesn't just test your body, it tests your ego. It doesn't care who you were back home, or what you think you know. Out there, respect isn't given, it's earned, usually in blood, sweat, and scars. So that was Sarah's husband's story. Let us know what you think in comments. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also your support on Patreon is very, very appreciated, as I do put lots of time and effort into creating videos.